Hello, my friends. Welcome to this week's video. As promised last time in the conclusions, today I would like to describe you to let you see a plugin available as a standalone software as well that can give us many effects and very interesting ones for our guitar for a very low price. It's inexpensive, but if you follow me until the end of this video, you could have a surprise. There is an Easter gift for you just if you stay tuned. Welcome, everybody. The plugin we are going to speak about today is the APFX Primo. That is a standalone, but also it is available as a VST if you want to integrate it in your DAW. So it is still possible, but I'm going to show you the standalone version because I find it very convenient because it is really plug and play. And of course, you see my guitar here because of course, I will try with my limitations to let you hear some few tones. I will. It will be very small, and if you're interested, we're gonna develop this later because this video is gonna be quite long in any case, even if we go very quickly for hearing the tones. What I would like to show you are in particular the features that this plugin can provide. That in my opinion, you will find very interesting. We are speaking of a plugin that can is based on AI modeling. It is the most trendy, I would say, option recently, and it is, in my opinion, something interesting because we are taking a step forward compared to the pure modeling of existing tools. It is possible to create additional situations. It will provide also a particular interface, very different to what we are used, and in my opinion, can be considered smart. It includes a bunch of effects together, like you had an amplifier with many effects included. It provides also a stage mode, so the possibility to use it like it was on stage, but there are some limitations as you will need a computer to make it work. Even if, and that is the news coming up from this week, it is now available also for iPad, and this can make it even more convenient, in my opinion. It has some smart things that I have never seen in other plugins, and frankly speaking, I believe they are interesting, like some kind of self-leveling. You don't need to, you can forget your volumes. You set the level you like, and whichever effect or preset you're gonna loading, they will still stay leveled and not provide those strange clippings or very low volumes whenever you you don't want them. So there are a lot of little things to have a look at. So I would like to avoid giving you too much time to wait. So give me a second. I'm gonna show you the where to find it because that's important, how much it costs, and so on. If you Google APFX, that is the company that is manufacturing here this. By the way, it's an Italian company made by a couple of guys, very young people, much younger than myself, that had this great idea of modeling a new kind of amplifier. Because, well, let me check. I'm going to go to the page. You will be welcomed by this page. It will explain, by the way, this is the news I was anticipating, that version 1.3 is available. Primo is the name. In Italian, it makes its meaning is the first one. So we are expecting that they will produce also a second and a third one, but well, who knows? In any case, it is possible to have information about the software, and there is also a free trial. An important thing about it for the free trial. Whatever I'm going to show you today, you can try it. The free trial has no time limitation, so you can use it for a long time, even indefinitely if you prefer. The only and alone drawback when using the free trial is that every 45 seconds there are a couple of seconds of a white noise, some kind like zzz, that's of course, does not allow you to use it for recording a full song. That's possible. It's not so annoying if you are just practicing, and allows you to use it, I would say, for free. But you will see the price is so low that, honestly speaking, if you really like it, why not? And again, look until the end. Okay, as I said, if I click learn more, you will see that there is the possibility to get again the free trial, to purchase the software. This is the price. It is also available on the Apple Store for iPad. This is the real news, and it can be used as a standalone software or so. As I mentioned before, the developers didn't, that are guitarists, by the way, so I think that is why it is so convenient in some aspects, so smart in some aspects, for usability, especially, in my opinion. This one is modeling, is not the usual modeler that you find out there that is replicating perfectly an amplifier or a cab or something like that. This one is a modeler. It is based on a real amplifier because, according to what the developers were explaining, it is based on a boutique amplifier, a very good one. By the way, if you are sensitive enough, I believe you will be able to tell which kind of amplifier has been used. In any case, just to give you an idea, the website is very full of information that you can double check. For example, it shows you for which kind of genres this amplifier is better recommended. You see that in particular it is strong in rock, pop, somehow in metal, something less in blues and R&B, and for jazz is not probably its exact working area, but you know that. So here you will not find a plugin or a modeler with hundreds of amplifiers under. It's one alone, but you can fine tune a lot of issues of topics. It's like you can consider this the experience of using this software much closer to plug your real amplifier, set your knobs and play with whatever you like. But of course, it is a little more practical for the control. Okay, it is named Primo. There are some sound demo that you can hear, so I'm suggesting you to take them. Other also because the preset used for this demo are already included in the software, so you can really verify them and check them for yourself. There are a lot of details that I'm going to develop later, but let's have a look quickly on how to download it. If you want, you can press free trial. Download the installer for Windows, macOS, whatever you want, or in the App Store for your iPad. Sorry, only iPad. It's not working on iPhone, so it is iOS, but only iPad OS. So it's not working for your smartphone, only for your pad. If you have, for example, if you have a Mac like myself, you can download it. Let's see, it's quite long, but in any case, as soon as it is downloaded, it is easy to install it because you just need to install it as you would do for whatever software. I'm not wasting your time showing you this because I don't believe you're interested in this topic. Yes, you see, it is installed. It's a zip file. I can open it. There is a package installer. I can double click it, and it will guide me to the full installation process. Nothing strange, nothing peculiar. It's not a big package, by the way. It's very small because it's just a few megabytes. Okay, let's skip this part. Let's go to the real meat of this of this device. As we said, we are speaking of an AI modeler. That's the great news that the developer were able to leverage. What is the point? They didn't took just simple snapshots of the amplifier we spoke about, but they leverage also artificial intelligence to create a very efficient modeling and very precise modeling of the device. But again, the point was not to replicate that piece of hardware, but in particular to provide great tones. And that's, in my opinion, also one of the advantages of this great device, of this great plugin. Okay, let's give it for granted that you were able to install it. Of course, then you can turn it on. Okay, so we are gonna see, well, when you turn it on, you will need also to configure it in the basics. Okay, as again, we are gonna use our PreSonus Revelator card for the connection as an audio interface. The guitar is connected to it, so that's what we're gonna do. You need to configure the system. It is done very quickly, clicking at the gear on the top right corner, just click here, and you will be welcomed by this page. Very easy. You just need to select the input. For me now it is the IO Revelator, and you see that I can select one of the two channels. My guitar is connected to channel 2, so I'm gonna flag this one. For the output, I'm gonna use Revelator IO24 Stream Mix A. As I explained in last video, this is the stream that goes directly into OBS Studio. In simple words, I'm gonna let you hear what is playing, what is the output of this plugin, and of course I will be able to hear it also from the monitor. So it is possible to test this one, and you can hear it. Then you can select the sample rate. The plugin can be pushed until 96 kilohertz, but of course my input device is 48, so for that option is not available. Then you need to select the number of samples you want to select. Here there is the usual drawback that is common if you ever used a DAW, between the number of samples, so the buffer, the size of the buffer, and the delay that will introduce, because of course digital elaboration introduces for sure a delay. It's necessary because it's a calculation performed on the signal, and the longer the buffer, the longer the delay, because the buffer is a sort of queue of data that are elaborated one by one, so they are waiting in that queue. What is the point? If you have less samples, you will feel less delay. The quality is not affected by this, so don't be confused by this. Generally speaking, the quality is not changed by this. The point is that to elaborate very quickly the signals, so without having a queue that can compensate some little slowdowns or something like that, the resources needed for your computer are much more. So if you want to really get a good, for example, one of the usual trick is when you're configuring a DAW is to monitor the input and hear your guitar if you're playing or something like that while recording. But generally, when you connect the card to the DAW, it is usual to keep a buffer a little longer, because for monitoring it makes no differences if you are monitoring directly from the input. But the output has time to be elaborated, and you don't risk to have some glitches due to the fact that your CPU is not able to elaborate the samples on time. If that happens, you will hear silence or glitches or clicks or something like that, and if, of course, it's not pleasant. It depends on the strength of your computer. The website gives you some minimum requirements for your computer. In particular, for if you have an Intel CPU, Nexa 8664 CPU, 64 bits CPU is required, including SSC and Neon support, with at least 4 gigabytes of RAM and 10 gigabytes of free disk space. To me, 10 gigabytes seems a little too much, but in any case, you will need a decent processor. For macOS, Apple Silicon, including M1, is suggested. Of course, it depends on your system. It depends. My suggestion, personally, because I'm really too sensitive to delay. I really don't like delay. I'm not able to play if I feel a delay, and I really don't like it. So when I'm using this plugin to hear the elaborated sound, because let me make a distinction. If I monitor the input, I will hear the clean guitar. I want to hear the effects instead, so the tone produced by the plugin, so it is in the output. And if there is a delay, the output will come up in delay. So when I play, I will feel a delay between what I'm playing and the feedback I receive, the sound that is produced. To me, I have to tell you, 3 milliseconds is my personal limit. Above that, I start really to play as as ugly as it can be. You can decrease it even more. By the way, the developer suggests 128, so 2.7 milliseconds. But you can see that you can reach until zero point 0.3. That in here, for example, I'm telling you, if you have something else open, like myself, that I have OBS Studio recording or something like that, this is impossible. Even zero point 0.7 produces glitches with my computer, and I have an M2 Pro Mac, so I think that it is a little too challenging. But in any case, a couple of milliseconds is definitely acceptable. I have a lot of friends that feel good even with 10 milliseconds. That's not my case. It depends on you. So my suggestion is push it as shorter as you can until you start hearing glitches and problems, and then return, make a couple of steps back to avoid this problem. There is, you see that there are some referrals also to MIDI ports. The revelator, that is the audio card I'm using, has also MIDI input and output, and the system recognizes it. And it is also possible to use MIDI through Bluetooth. That anticipates that this plugin can also receive MIDI commands to set it. Okay, this was to let you all see how to configure it. By the way, you can hear that it is working. I'm sure you can tell. Okay, now we can have a look at the visual part of this plugin. So what the developer are very proud of some of how it appears, because you see, well, okay, let me show you some things. On the website, it is written that you can resize the interface however you like. That is partially true. I mean, I can increase the size or reduce it, but you see that at least on my Mac, I reach some limits. It cannot be smaller than this or larger than this, and that is one possible topic that to keep in mind, because it is not possible to put it full screen. On iPad, probably yes. In fact, if you look at the format, it seems like it was meant to be used on a tablet in a 4:3 format like the iPad has. So probably that was the purpose. In any case, the interface is interesting because it can look a little less sexy compared to other tools, to other DAW or other plugins, where you see a picture of the front panel of the amplifier, the knobs that you can move or something like that, that many people find very interesting, but that's not exactly necessary, honestly speaking, and it is really a waste of space. And by the way, if you have real knobs, it's practical, but moving knobs through with the mouse, I'm sure that you experience that is not so good. So it is a little annoying sometimes. And but of course, if you're looking for the real deal, it feels like romantic or so. I have to be honest. Personally, I like a lot that option, because visually I can tell this is the kind of amplifier I choose. These are the parameters that I can configure, and I feel immediately at home. But that's not the point. Here we have just one amplifier, so there is no real need to create strange pictures to waste room and space. This interface is very compact and synthetic, and that is something that I really believe can be helpful. It is self-explaining in almost every aspect. It's high contrast, so you can look at it even in low light or so if you are visually impaired, and so on. And it is composed by very simple things. You see that there is the logo. Here you have the possibility to save presets. I didn't told you this before, but you can create presets for this. I anticipated that the system will have some uploaded. With the pencil, you can save the preset with another name to create a copy. Preset means all the parameters you can configure, you can set them and fine tune them in which configuration you want, and then save that specific snapshot of the plugin with all the parameters memorized in that snapshot. So you can really change anything and not lose it in different steps. You can save with a different name if you want to create variations. You can save with the same name if you want to edit that specific preset, you want to change something and keep it like that. You see that if I move something, a sort of, let me show you, a sort of star is appearing below beside the name to let me know there are some changes that are not yet saved. It is possible to scroll the presets with the arrows back and forth. It is possible to cancel, to delete completely a preset, not suggested, and it is possible to look for preset in your computer. By the way, all the presets, all the user preset you are saving or uploading are saved like XML files that you can even edit directly if you want in a subfolder in the user folder below APFX Primo folder. So they are saved locally. You don't even need to make some particular exportation. If you want, you just need to copy and paste these files between different computers if you want, and you can transfer all these presets with these and save them, back them up. So I really appreciate this option because I'm used to software that requires complicated exportation or something like that. Why not do something like that? It's easy and it's working perfectly. So they are presets. There are no copyrights or something to protect here. Okay. It is also, let's keep the other buttons on top. We will have a look at that. Let's look at the general page. You see that there is all the first block on top is composed by the amplifier that can be turned on and off. So you can completely turn off the amplifier. You will hear the guitar but some effects can be applied nevertheless. Of course, you will not get the tone from the amplifier. Two channels that are changed with the central button. The first channel is meant to be used for clean and can be pushed until some little crunch, I would say. The second channel, of sure, is meant for higher gain situation, for metal or hard rock options, and it is very easy moving and seamless to move from one to each other to the other. The change is very quick, and it can be made also quite smooth. You have a lot of effects available. That is something I would like to show you later. Just for the moment, have a look at them, the compressor, overdrive, or so. The main interface also shows the inputs, the output, so it can receive also a stereo input. You see that if I play, you get the input on the left hand side and the output on the right hand side. Let stop because otherwise you cannot hear me. Okay, as I said, the input on the left hand side and the output on the right hand side. There is a noise gate, this one, so the tap is a noise gate. It is possible to select what will be the frequency cutting for the IR. So you can put a low pass filter and a high pass filter, so you can select the range of frequencies that will be heard through the cab. There are some cab IRs. We will have a look at that also. You can change the input volume and the output volume, and it's easy as just dragging on top of this. So very easy. If you are used with the system where there is a knob, it's easy. And by the way, look at these bars. They always show you where you are. And in particular, if you want to return to the standard, just double click and you get the standard memorized option. You can return to the default, in simple words. There are different pages. You can activate a tuner, this one, the diapason. So here you can. This is the page we were looking to before. You see that the amplifier is staying there because it's the central unit, but also you can change the pages to show chorus, phaser, delay, and reverb. So all the options that are available here. So being said this, you must be curious about this because this device, this well, I'm naming it device even if it is a software, but honestly speaking, I believe that is a good idea, is provided of a real bunch of built-in effects. Just one thing, this is not a full modeler. You cannot change the sequence of effects, for example. It is much more similar to your amplifier with an effects panel included in that, and the effects included, in fact, are very similar to what you will find on many amplifiers out there. Like there are some Marshall, some Orange, also that already includes these kind of effects. So you cannot change the sequence, you cannot change the order, you cannot what can I say, duplicate one of them. You cannot replace one of them. This is all built in, but you can turn them on and off or set the configuration. As we said, there is a compressor, very simple. There is now no underdog compressor. You just select how strong the compression should be. So what is the range you want to keep wider or larger. You can activate an overdrive where you see you can select the amount of drive or distortion, the level. So if you want it to work, for example, as a booster, you just need to reduce the drive and keep the level higher. This way you have no additional distortion, but you can increase the volume, for example, for a solo. You can also select the treble. In many amplifier, you may remember that they normally mention presence, that honestly speaking is nothing different from this. So you can also select how much push the treble, the treble frequencies, very common. There is a cab IR. You see that clicking on the three lines, it is possible to delete IR, delete the folder, import IRs. The plugin already includes, and the developers are very proud of this, and in my opinion, it was a good collaboration. Already includes some, let's see, I mean, it includes 5 IRs provided by Choptones. If you have seen other of my videos, you may know that I'm quite happy with their work. In my opinion, those IRs are very interesting, very well done, well made. Maybe they are not perfect for your testing, so it's, as you know, IRs are always a matter of taste, but they are really professionally made. They are done by people that used to play guitar, and they are selected even in the frequency response very well to provide a realistic sensation. So I really like them. You can tell, but I'm not telling you that you need to purchase this one. But personally, I'm very happy to find in this plugin some IRs provided by Choptones. But of course, I can import how many I want. I have a lot of IRs available. Many of them are coming from Choptones, and I can add all mine. You can detach the cabinet. This maybe could be interesting for example, and I did it, I have to tell you, if you want to go out from your audio interface into a real cabinet. That's something that you can do. Of course, you will need another a power amplifier to do that, but it is something interesting as well if you like. So it gives you a lot of options. Everything can be tuned. Going to the page of some post effects, you will see that there is a chorus. For the chorus, you can just select the level, the rate, and the depth, as usual. For the phaser, the rate, the depth, the level, again, so these are very... For the effects, I would say the phaser is the only option available. And also you have a page for the post effects like delay and reverb. Reverb can be just turned on and off. You have no options. You cannot select type or so. Delay have some more options. In particular, you can select between an analog tape delay or a digital. I hope you can see that here when I change it. It changes the movement. So just a couple of delay. Well, the main difference between analog and digital are those that you are familiar with. So when you, for example, normally the analog delay tend to fade away quicker than and so to change the tone, change the frequencies while during repetitions. Instead, the digital delay maybe is fading away, but the shape of the tone is always the same, also in the repetition. It depends on your taste. I personally, I'm quite old and romantic. I like the analog detail, but that's not a problem. They sound quite good. They are not so invasive, and I like them. One other option is the possibility to have the stereo or mono delay. Of course, if you have a stereo, the repetition are on one channel. If you have mono, sorry, if this is mono, it is on one channel alone. If you keep it stereo, you will them hear the repetition bump on both left and right, and that's something that you can appreciate. Personally, I prefer the stereo delay also because I don't use delay so much apart when I would like to create some sounds of well-known guitarists that use them, and they tend to use two delays on the different channel. Okay, here you can select the level, the feedback, so how much you will hear it. But an interesting thing that you can like, and I like to find it because I never seen it on the panel of an amplifier, is the possibility to have a synchronized delay. So if I select a metronome of 120, like in this case, it is possible to select the delay based on the frequency, on the pace of the rhythm of the song. So, for example, if I want the 8D delay, that is one of the most used by some of our favorite guitarists, just let me, just to give you an idea, if you want, it is very easy to let you feel how it feels. Let me take this, for example, this preset where I selected 1/8 delay, and it is quite common to have something like this one, for example. Sorry, I don't want to replicate it too much. I'm speaking on it because honestly, I don't want to get a copyright strike because of this, but I think you got an idea. This is a possibility. It's not exactly what you would expect if you wanted to play the song. All we are thinking about where the streets have no name. Also, also, the Pink Floyd were used to use this kind of effect very often. It is something that can be considered interesting in my opinion. So I would say there are really a lot of possibilities. It is you don't have hundreds of effects, but honestly, the focus here is not to have a lot of options and maybe have half of them completely useless because you don't like them. They produce unreliable sounds or something like that. It is something that I would like to clarify. So the focus is to get some good tones very easily and very quickly, and that's what honestly I appreciate about this software. Uh, you may see that in YouTube there are a lot of videos about this plugin. It became very famous because it is something new in the panorama. But the point is why I didn't review it before today. Because I downloaded it, I tried it, I want to see, that I always test something that I purchase. Also purchased the license for this one. I'm using the paid version, and I paid it with my own money. So I'm only showing something that I bought so that you don't see, you don't get tricked, and you can believe that my overviews are always honest. The point is, I found myself using it often and often and more because it is really plug and play. It's easy. Everything on one screen. I just need to plug the cable and play. Of course, well, to be honest, I ended here because my pedal board died just a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago, and that forced me to have something else to practice. I started using this one, and honestly speaking, I have difficulties moving out from this. Of course, it's less portable than pedal board, and I don't think it is easy to use it on stage, even if there is a special option I'm going to show you in a moment. But the point is, it is a little it is something to consider when you are using this device. Now I would like to show you the other option, so the possibility for using it for, well, not exactly stage, but similarly to the use of the stage. In the top right corner there is a button named Stage Mode. If you press it, the screen changes. The bottom part, the second part, is still the same, so you have the effects, the tuner if you want, and so on, all the levels. But the amplifier has been replaced by some buttons that are slots you can fill with presets. You see that the first slot, that is scene 1, there are 64 scenes available. Here the meaning of scene is completely different from what it is normally intended as scene or snapshot in pedal boards or in other structure, because here the scene includes presets. Normally the preset includes scenes, so it's a little strange, it can be confusing, but nevertheless, let's consider that like groups of presets. And here you can set them whatever you like. So you can decide which preset to put just clicking on the blue part and selecting the one you like. For example, the scene 2 is completely empty. You see, select the preset. Why not giving the, I don't know, what I used before, something from here, and so on. Okay, so it is also possible to select a lot of these. Scene 1 is already configured with the 6 presets that you can find installed. And of course, you see that the on-off button makes it clear that when I select it, I turn on that one. They can be all off, or you can activate one and switch between one or the other. It's similar to a stomp mode. You see that it is also possible to rename the slot. Instead of calling them slot 1 or something like that, you can give them another name, so you have both the name of the preset and also the characteristic. Maybe you can select the preset, use the scene for a song, for example, and make slot 1 like intro, the second one like rhythm, and the third one like solo, for example, to have the 3 configuration you use in those steps. It's up to you, so it is very flexible. And it is also possible, of course, to turn on and off effects below from here. It's not exactly like a stomp box in some other in a pedal board, because of course you need to touch the screen, even if you have an iPad. So if you are using for a touch screen, for me it's fantastic to use to have this possibility. I would say it's how it should meant to be played. But of course, it is not so practical. But there is something that can help you, because if you press the gear on the right top corner here, okay, you are welcomed by this page. We mentioned before that there are some MIDI possibilities. You see that some possibility can be done. You can change scene, select the specific slot in a scene, select next or following slot, turn on and off any of the effects. And you can also select the tap tempo for the delay, for example, using different messages. You can send MIDI messages, and you see that there is also a learn option. So if you have a MIDI device connected to that, it means that next scene is not necessarily connected to PC1 message, but you can press learn, press the key on your keyboard that you want to use for the previous scene, whatever it is, maybe it is CC25, I don't know, the system will learn and will associate that command to this option. So you can configure it, you can map it how you want. Also, it accepts some OSC commands through the website, to the IP address written here. I will show you in a later video, so stay tuned for this, how to control this using this option with different controllers. The first one I'm going to show you is to use a MIDI controller for these options, and that will make it very useful, in my opinion, in a sort of live situation. even if I'm not sure I would use it in live. It is also possible to obtain that result from a smartphone using these commands, the OSC commands made famous by Amplitude in general. But the point is that in that case, you will need the devices to be connected to the same Wi-Fi network, so that's not obvious. But if it is possible, it is a great option as well. I'm gonna show you both of them in a following video if you're gonna if you stay tuned to the channel. Okay, this was an overview of the options available from this plugin, and I think they are very interesting. Frankly speaking, I believe that this is one of the most interesting one, and the sounds that you can obtain are well, sorry, some noise, are very reliable because really you can uh, you can get very pleasant tones from this one because so I think that you can hear that the sound is good, especially when the distortion comes up because it is quite funny, quite strong, quite satisfying in the especially in the metal area. But I would say more than that in the in the crunch area, it is working very well, honestly speaking, because you see, you can hear it. Give me a moment. I'm switching my headphones so that I can play a little better. I just want you to hear the possibility to hear some plays, some. Well, I hope you were able to hear. In my opinion, these sounds are very satisfying. So they play well, and what I personally believe, let me switch again my headphones. Thank you for your patience. Sorry, guys, I'm making a mess here. Well, okay, the point is the sounds, the tone, in my opinion, sounds very satisfying. Honestly speaking, a lot of times I find myself playing through the Mac speaker, and it feels good like that as well. They don't feel so electronic, but I will elaborate later. There is one last option I would like to describe to you that is interesting and gives the idea that the system is very promising. You will see, and you may have noticed when I played something, that I changed different presets, modern metal, where the streets have no name, or something like that, but I never touched the output volume. Doesn't look strange. It never happened to me in a real amplifier to be able to switch between different channels like clean compare with distorted or activate overdrive or something like that without the need to tune the levels because they are always completely different. That's not the case here. That's fantastic. It's there is a sort of self normalizing of the levels so that when you switch between presets, you don't need to care about that. You set your output level as per your liking, considering your amplifiers, your speakers, your audio card, whatever you're using, your headphones, And then you can forget it. You can change genre, you can change tone and preset without particular problem. This, in my opinion, is very, very useful. It's not working exactly for every preset. It depends on you because, of course, if in a preset you push the volume of the amplifier at 100%, in another one you keep it lower, it keeps some difference. Otherwise, you have no possibility to distinguish between different presets, for example, for different parts or for coming out from the mixer when you want to make a solo. So it's important to have also this possibility, especially when you play on a backing track or something like that. But it is up to you because if you keep the same volume of the amplifier and activate effects, the level will remain more or less the same. There is another interesting option included in the system that is very funny if you want. It is obtained if you press the button with the arrows up and down in the corner close to the gear. If I press it, you see that this table appears. This one is meant like this. You see that there are parameters for rhythm, bass, lead, and treble, or rhythm or bass, lead or treble. How is this working? You see that there are some options that are channel 1 gain, channel 1 volume, channel 2 gain, channel 2 volume, the overdrive, the overdrive level. So overdrive means on or off in simple words. Overdrive level, chorus level, phaser level, so where they should be leverage. You see that now I activated them all. You can activate each one singularly, all together, whatever you like. You can turn on and off the full system with this button. And what is the meaning of this one? It distinguishes two situations. When you play rhythm guitar, when you play a lead, you want to make a solo, for example, the treble version. So in these two options, what is going to happen? In the rhythm situations, when the system recognize that you are playing rhythm, then the channel 1 gain, so the clean gain, if you are into this, will be low, 25%. If it perceive that you are in a lead part, it will bring the gain to 75%. The same can be done here, for example, for the second channel, and you can set all these values whichever you like. You can even invert to have it higher in one situation and lower in the other one. Doesn't mean that in lead you need to have more gain and more volume or so. You can even switch them, or you can decide that when you are in rhythm, the overdrive is inexistent. When you go to lead, the overdrive is very strong, for example, and maybe it works also as a booster because you can increase also the level at the same option you have below. It's not different. Also, you can decide if the change that is made when the system detects that you are changing, it can be smoother or faster. How smooth you want it to be, how slow I would say you want it to be, how hard, how dry you want the switch to be. And it's also possible to decide the balance. If the system will have, in case of doubt, I would say, need to tend for the rhythm or need to tend for the lead, to interpret that as a rhythm or as a lead. I have to tell you, I tried this one and I will develop it and I will elaborate it better if you want me to in something following. But I have to be honest, I tried it even with very basic songs where there was a perfectly clean chord-based rhythm or a lead that was performed with high gain in the second part, above 12 fret of the fretboard, but the switch was always a little in doubt. It seems to me that the system tend to switch to the lead option a lot, a little too much. Even if you decrease it, of course decrease it and put it full to rhythm, improves the situation, but not completely. According to the instructions provided by by the developer, the switch should be connected to the pitch of your tone. So if you play in the lower part of the fret, the system should read it as a rhythm. If you play in the higher part of the fret, you should see it as lead. That, at my ears, it sounds perfect. But honestly, in my test, I was not so happy with that, and frankly speaking, I would never use it. I prefer 100% to have a manual control to switch between the two configuration. Otherwise, I don't trust so much the final outcome. But so I'm telling you, I'm giving you the picture right now. I hope that there will be some improvements in the future, because consider that it is this plugin came out just a couple of months, a few months ago, and it is still already at version 1.3. It has been already released for iPad, but it was born as a plugin for computers. So, in my opinion, it is developing really fast. The developers are highly focused on this product, and I'm expecting great things from this. So, I appreciated the idea. If it worked as I wanted, it would be really a game changer. But of course, I would like to see it work a little better than this, because for now, for me, it's not so usable. I prefer to have something else. But again, it is another innovation that I really appreciate. I really like that this kind of new options are made available for us, for guitarists, and I hope and I will stay tuned for sure. That's probably one of the main reasons why I purchased also this software. By the way, as I mentioned at the beginning, just to give you a final conclusion, I hope you had an idea about this. Well, forgive me about the samples. I don't want to risk any copyright strike or something like that, so they are not taken correctly with silence or so. Just a little confusion. I just wanted to transmit a little of possible option of this software. Also because many things depend on your toolings of your guitar, of your devices, of your computer. So it makes no sense for me to give you a perfect the sampling of the play. I just wanted to give you a very small taste. Please consider that this one can be downloaded for free, and you can use it indefinitely, unlimited, for free. The only drawback is that white noise that is coming up every now and then. So you can really get a test and decide if it is a good choice for you or not. It is also available as a plugin to be used with DAW, but really, I really like it as a standalone one. You can buy it. The price, and this comes to the Easter gift, I promised. Yeah, I know that you have been waiting for this for a long time, and here we go. The price, the street price, is 30 euro, tax included. I don't know exactly the conversion in dollars, but you can check on the website. Again, you can try the free version, whatever you like. But in case you decide to purchase it, you can use a discount. The code you are seeing on the screen is has been given to me by the developer. I spoke with them as usual. I I was very transparent with them and told them that I was remarking every good and bad point about this plugin, even if I'm using it regularly and personally I like it. I wanted you to see both the advantages and the disadvantages, so I didn't hide you that there are some drawbacks, in particular the fact that the interface cannot resize how much you want, the fact that the dynamic leveling, in my opinion, is not working as it should be. I would like also add another couple of drawbacks. The MIDI commands possible are very few because you can turn on and off effects, but apart for the overdrive, you cannot set the level. There is nothing to set the volume. You can just toggle on and off some possibilities. So also that one must be developed, in my opinion. There is another one that I really don't like. If you have a USB card like mine, like the Revelator, when I turn it on, so if I turn on my computer without the card connected and I open Primo alone, the routing set, the audio settings we have seen at the beginning are completely lost. I have to set them again, again and again. I would greatly prefer to have a software that keeps the regular configuration, and in case it is not possible to apply that, it at least gives me the option to change it or to use the default hardware. Also because if then I connect the card, still I need to set all the settings, so they are really lost. There is like a sort of error. If it doesn't find what he would like to find at the startup, it is forgetting all the settings in that page. Okay, we are speaking of a few seconds for the configuration, but I have to tell you that the first times it was a little annoying, also because I needed to understand what happened, why I was not hearing anymore anything from my interface. But nevertheless, consider that. By the way, I have to tell you one thing. The price has slightly increased since the beginning because as the guys are adding functionalities, I fear that they could also add additional functionalities and increase again, because it's a market where normally plugins like this one for simulating like the Soldano amplifiers or something like that cost 200 euros. Here we are speaking of less than 30, so it's incredible in my opinion, considering also how many new options this plugin provided. So honestly, in my opinion, the street price is very good, considering the functionalities and also the potential of this. Of course, we cannot buy a potential, and it is not guaranteed that it will develop, that it will become available. But personally, I made a nod on this, and I decided to purchase it. If in case, but my suggestion is still test it extensively, try it for a long time, make sure if you want it or so. In the end, if you would decide that you want to buy it, you can use the discount, the discount code you see on the page to get a 25% discount. This makes it cost around 22, if I remember correctly. So it is in case you already, I don't think you were gonna purchase it because of this, but if you decided that you already wanted to purchase it, this is this is the gift I would like to share with you for the upcoming Easter. That is the possibility to buy it with a quarter discount. But just a warning, this discount will not last forever. I'm sharing it with you right now. It will stay valid according to what the developer told me until the end of May 2024. So you have a couple of months to decide, and nobody can force you. As I said, this is an additional gift, and don't use it as the decision, as the something to let you decide what to do with to purchase it or not. Okay, being said this, I hope you have an overview. I will show you some other details about this plugin in combination with my audio card. So I will return to the original series, and I would like to show you also how to obtain some advantages from this one, including the possibility to route it in OBS. It's something you will see. The possibility to control it using MIDI and your smartphone in different ways. And of course, as usual, if something was not so clear, if you have doubt, if you have problems, if you want to send me comments, critics, whatever could help me improve my channel is more than welcome. I don't I appreciate also negative critics when they have that purpose in particular. I always reply to any comments, so feel free to write, to ask question or whatever. If something was could be explained better, let me know. I will try to clarify it if possible, or in case I can use it for as a suggestion for additional explanations. For the moment, I'm as there are a lot of other interesting video coming up. In particular, if you want to follow this series, so I'm strongly suggesting you, if you didn't before, to subscribe and ring the bell. This way, you're going to get notified whenever a new content is available on the channel. In the meantime, I'm wishing to you and your family a great Easter. Have fun. Bye bye.